Hello and welcome. I'm Parisa Shelton, and today I have the awesome privilege of talking to my good friend and colleague, Jen Primmer. Jen is a Qigong teacher trainer level 2. She's a curative Qigong practitioner, massage therapist, Qigong teacher, yoga teacher, PE teacher, working with high school students. God bless you. And just an all-around extraordinary human being. Hello, Jen. Welcome.
Hi, P. Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited. Today we're going to talk a little bit about your experience with Qigong teacher training. My very first question for you is how did you find us?
Oh, you want me to tell that story?
Yes.
So, the universe gives you what you need when you need it. You just have to make sure you're paying attention. I took Tai Chi classes from Chris a long time ago when he was at Jewish Community Center. 2006, 7, something like that, after I was married and moved to San Jose. And so somehow I was on a mailing list for you guys. Life happened. I had babies. I had done some Qigong here or there in Willow Glen, but really not much. And I was going through my junk email for an email I've had forever. And I just happened to see an invite that you had put out for free Qigong on Thanksgiving. And I don't really check this kind of junk mail ever. And I was like, hey, Qigong, like what could be bad about free Qigong, right? And this is in the midst of the pandemic and everyone's at home and all of that. Signed in at 8 o'clock on Thanksgiving, and there is Chris in his turkey costume, complete with nude leggings, and I was sold. So it was fun, of course, great personality. It was a lot of fun. But when I was finished with the class, it was just like, I've done a lot of massage. I went to school for that. Kind of a massage snob. Not everybody gives a good massage, but it was like the feeling of having that great massage, or the sort of the release, and like, wow, I had no idea I needed that. And so I was like, wow, I would love to feel like that every single day. And the cheat club
Wow.
was something I could do because I was home and I didn't start school till 9. So I just kind of went hard. I'm a wood type. So when I'm in it, I'm in it.
Full
It's
force.
like full force. So I just jumped head into it, and yeah, wasn't missing a day and was just loving it. So it was perfect.
That's so funny. I'm going to cue a picture of Chris in his tights because that was so memorable.
Yep. Yep.
So after the Chi Club, and you were considering to sign up for Qigong teacher training, what hesitations did you have at that time?
First I was like, oh, I'm not doing this. I just started this. But because, like I said, I'm the wood type and I just do. It was honestly 6, 7 days a week, most of the weeks, because I was doing Chi Club and doing it on my own. And I was noticing all these changes happening. And so it was like, I'm a student. I have all these different things that I've learned, and I'm like, I have to learn more. I have to learn more about this. And the only thing that was a hesitation was that I don't ever spend money on myself, right? I come from two parents growing up teachers, and so we didn't have a lot of money. So I'm very frugal in that regard. And so that was the only thing that sort of put a pause, was that, oh, should I spend this money to do this? And oh, I don't know. I don't know that I really need to do this. And I was like, nope, this is me taking care of me, and I don't do that. And this is an investment in myself. So I just sort of like said, no, I'm doing it. Doing it.
Good for you. Wow. Yeah, because I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. It's like we can spend on our kids, we can spend on our partners, but then when it comes time for like our own, then there can be some resistance. So, way to
Exactly.
overcome that and just like dive, you just went woo, dived into
Yep.
the deep end and full force. But you do have that kind of mind that really understands and can grasp the foundations of Qigong and Chinese medicine.
Yeah, well, it was fascinating to me, the changes that were happening in my body, that the only thing that was different was Qigong. I wasn't eating any better. Don't tell my doctor. I wasn't exercising more. I didn't change anything. It was just my daily practice. And because it was so consistent, it really made a lot of changes in a short period of time. I had allergies where I was taking a pill every single day, 365 days a year. I had allergies in the winter, in the spring, wherever. all of a sudden I stopped taking those and I wasn't having allergies. Aches and pains. I woke up one day thinking, when did I get this old that I wake up with aches and pains? Those were gone. Old injuries that would plague me, that just as I got stressed, I would feel, were gone. So there were a lot of things that were different. And relationship wise, it was really interesting because I'm a wood type, right? I sometimes like to be in control of things, only sometimes.
Sometimes.
And so the more control you try to have over things, the less control you actually have. So as I was able to sort of change my vibration and let go of a lot of resentment and frustrations that I didn't necessarily realize I was stuffing, my pot was always ready to boil over. And so as soon as I was able to release a lot of that vibration, then things around me that I was trying to control all of a sudden started to come into play when I let go of trying to control everything.
Wow.
So it started to make things change in my personal life, and allow me to moderate my mood better as my chi was flowing and all of those things were going. So that's why I was like, I got to learn more. This is fantastic. How is this even possible?
Wow, that's so cool. I mean, I've seen this stuff work, but when like actually hearing it is really just inspiring and awesome to just be able to dive deep and literally apply the practices and see before your eyes, not just your health, but your relationships improve as well.
Difference was, at least for me, it was that, and maybe because I am the wood type and the like, do it. It wasn't a once a week or twice a week or something. I like really went at it hard. And then it was like, whoa, wow. And it doesn't take a lot of time. That's the thing. I think people make a lot of excuses. You know, I dropped my son off for a water polo game and I have an hour to kill and I'm standing out in the trees and I'm just tossing some stones and, you know, people walking by and whatever. There's always moments, you can always find time, but it's just making that commitment to do it.
It's a commitment to yourself.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Did you specifically like the best about Qigong teacher training, the Qi Club, now you're in our mastermind program, the Curative Qigong?
Well, QTT level 1 and 2, it was great because the way it was laid out, it allowed me to own the pace of it and do it at my own pace. And so I didn't have to go anywhere specifically while I was doing the training, and I could always go back and look at things again. So that was really great. And Chris does you do a great job of making it accessible to everybody. I have a, science background and anatomy, physiology background. So there's a lot of these things that make sense to me, but a lot of the things were new concepts. The way that it's done is so accessible. To be integrated into someone's knowledge. And so that's the reason why I thought it was great. The book complemented all the different activities that we had to do to sort of like self-reflect. It was nice when we had those little meetings to kind of get together. And then of course the weekends were awesome to be able to come together at the end and kind of sort of like get together and make things happen. That was fantastic. And then curative is just like an extension of, oh my gosh, that's it. I got to do more. Like this is just scratched the surface, and it just made me hungry for more and this is where I want to go. This is what I want to do. I want to bring this to more people because it's just information that needs to be out there, right? We have so much control over our own health. We just know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really empowering to know like, wow, I can do certain movements, focus my mind, do some breath, include, if you feel that way, some diet or herbs or whatever it is, and literally change the whole course trajectory of your life.
Exactly.
That's so cool. Good job. That's exciting. How have you personally benefited from this program?
So, so this year has been really rough. My dad was very sick and ultimately passed away. And there was a lot of stress regarding that. My 96-year-old grandmother had to relocate her. And so that was really rough, and dealing with all of her care and like stuff going on with her. And then not 6 months after that, just recently, my brother passed away. So it's been a very stressful year for me. And I'm a teacher and I'm a mom and I'm a doer, and I'm just kind of like the glue that holds everything together. So I know for a fact that if it wasn't for my practice, I would probably be in a really bad shape myself.
Mm,
Was able to do my practice. I was able to use healing sounds, use herbs. I was able to implement a lot of the things that I've learned to help me process and deal with a lot of the emotion that's been happening for me, and then share those with other people. So other family members, hey, try this. And so it's just been very, as you said earlier, empowering to be able to, no one wants these things to happen to them, but it's life. And we can't, life happens no matter what happens around us. Life keeps going on, and we can't just stop as much as we'd like to. So that has been probably the best thing. I joked with Chris, like, I think God's trying to really test me. I'm like, I think
that's
I
a lot
passed.
to deal
I think
with.
I passed. I'm like, did I get an A? Do I need any more tests this year?
You get some gold
Um,
stars because
Give me some gold star or something. But it's just been the mindset of understanding how life works and how to move through it now, and how to help myself process things is really, really important. And that's been the most valuable thing through this. I know some people have had really debilitating, fibromyalgia or different issues that Qigong has helped them with. I've been fortunate and I didn't have really anything like that. But I know that my little things, well, not really little things, they all kind of contribute too. But having the ability to move through a lot of the stress, especially handling the things that have come up the last year, has been huge,
that's major. And
Yeah.
I literally just got goosebumps. And I feel like your dad is looking down and just so proud of you. And even I feel like a lot of love coming from your brother, just like
Thank you. Yeah.
admiration. Like he's just like they're just on the other side, like just so proud of you for leading the way and being that example, being like literally being the change, like changing that generational dysfunction,
Yeah.
because your kids are watching what you're doing,
Yeah.
and so how you've been responding to tremendous amount of stress and loss in a short period of time is just really inspiring and remarkable, and I'm just so proud and delighted to know you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So wow, because yeah, you're right, like we can't escape death. No one's getting out of here alive. And this human thing, of course, we love and we get attached to the people in our that we're close to. So when we have to go through that, and not just one, but two, and then having to deal with your grandmother and where is she going to go, like that's a lot. So to be able to walk through it and have tools like, oh, I'm feeling anxious, oh, I'm feeling sad, to be able to identify and then do the ha sound, or do your lung cleansing exercise, it's just like it makes a world of difference.
And I think that's, by doing the practice, you become so aware of subtle changes in your own body. So if I feel like, oh, I think I might be coming down with something, I've been under a little stress, and I know some herbs, and I are some practices that I can do. So it's really tuning in and understanding that, oh, when I feel that pain or something, I'm like, oh, let's see what's been happening lately, what's going on.
Mm.
Oh yeah, I think it's that. So really kind of being able to check in with myself before things kind of escalate and get really, really bad. Because I think that's what happens, is we tend to stuff things and not uh, identify what's going on with us, and just
Right.
kind of maybe push through. But that's why I love it. It's like, okay, let it go. Make a tree. Oh, healing
Yeah.
sounds, so yeah, it's been a really powerful thing to be able to have in my life. So it's great. I want to share it with everybody. And QTT level 2, even if you don't want to be a teacher, some people, that's not their thing, to get up in front of other people and lead people through. I do it for a living, but just to have that really understanding of Qigong and just how you can empower yourself, it's
Mm.
it's a gift that you deserve to give to yourself. It's just priceless, just priceless.
Mm. That's so cool. And I know you work with high school students. Talk a little bit about your experience with doing some Qigong. I've seen some really like fun and exciting videos of some of your students doing the practice.
Yeah, so whether they want to or not, we introduced it. We do yoga, Pilates, and Qigong, and we do it as far as a kind of a mental wellness unit. So it lends itself really well. I did it initially when we were on Zoom doing school.
Mm,
And some kids really get into it, some kids don't, or they act like they don't. But I've had lots of students use it, come to study halls where I offer it for fun, like if they're not being forced to have to do it, telling me that, coming up excitedly saying, Mrs. Primmer, in the basketball game last night, we were down by one and I had a 1-on-1 free throw and I shook a tree and then I shot it and I made it. And we were tied and I shook a tree again and I made the second one and we won. And it was just like, she was beaming and so excited and
wow.
was like, yeah, I've been on the free throw line too, where it's not your fault that everybody else missed all those other baskets and now everyone's looking at you. And that's a lot of stress. So she
That is
just, and I went to watch one of the games and sure enough, she got on the free throw line, she shook a tree and, but that's a tool, that's a
that's a
tool. So we have a
tool.
lot of students who, from social media, COVID, oh my gosh, just being stuck home, not at
Mm,
school. It was horrible to do to our children what we did.
yeah.
And it's really impacted students. And so there's a lot of stuff they don't know where to put it and they don't know what to do with it. So if I can introduce it to someone and even just they have it in the back of their brain and they just know that they can just, oh, right? I can just like, if that's the one little nugget that they get, that they realize just that visualization of releasing and letting go of that, before a test in a math class or whatever it is,
Mm,
then that's awesome. So my plan this year, we have a beautiful new building and it has sort of an outdoor upstairs thing. I'm hoping to teach before school and after school to teachers and staff, offer that up.
oh, that
Hopefully,
is so
once in the
good.
morning, once in the afternoon, if I get the go ahead. And then again, have my students just come by, just stop in on the study hall and just do it. Because it's just something that I love. It makes me happy to see that I'm making an impact, because a lot of times we don't have tools. Young people don't know where to put their emotions. They don't know what to do with it. So
And we
yeah.
pile so much upon them. There's such a high expectation, especially in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Those kids are under a lot of pressure.
And
So
athletes especially, it's just, what do you do when and I understand that. It's like, it's a vibration,
too,
like
it
those
totally
feelings.
is.
And when you realize that, oh, it is a vibration and I don't have to hold on to that. I can let it,
Right.
there's something I can do with it, not punch someone,
Right.
not slam
Exactly.
something, not yell at someone. But I know even for myself, I'm not perfect, so sometimes we get into old patterns. But if
Yeah.
you can teach young people how to deal with that sooner, then they have healthier patterns. And then you don't get into the patterns of, oh, I'm a wood person, so my anger is my go-to emotion, so I'm just gonna like, right?
Right.
And so now, if my mood is smooth and my emotions are flowing because my chi is flowing, then I'm less likely to grr when something comes up. I'm
That's
more
right.
like, of
Oh,
course
okay.
that happened. Like,
Yeah.
right. Of
I
course
can
it did. So,
acceptance. Yeah.
it's great. So I think it's really important, the more people you can touch and reach, but really working with younger people has been awesome. I really like it.
I
So,
love that. That's literally how we change the world is
yes,
through the children. Yeah. That's
exactly.
so cool. Any last thoughts or anything you'd like to add?
No, just sign up, just do it. I mean, we'll regret
What are
it.
you waiting for?
What are you
Yeah.
waiting for exactly? You're gonna want to do QTT too. It's just like I said earlier, we do, I think, spend a lot of time and energy on things that don't really matter and
Mm,
don't really help us. And this is fundamentally something that can bring you a lot. But you gotta do it. And so I think it's easier, right? It's easier to have someone do something to you. It's easier to go get a massage,
mm,
right? Than
that's
to actually do the work so you won't need a massage. I'm not saying massages are great, right?
Of course.
But it's like when you go to the dentist, you know, they'll clean your teeth, but you still have to do the work in between the visits.
That's a good analogy. That's right.
And people don't, and the Qigong is work, but it's not work. When you really realize what you're doing for yourself, you know,
Right.
people spend a lot of time at the gym and their big old muscles and the tans and the hair and the whole 15 minutes, you
That's
know,
right.
20 minutes. It's
It's an
amazing at what
investment.
it is a
I-
good,
It's an investment in yourself, in your emotional and mental well-being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes all that other, you glow, you don't need muscles and
That's right.
fancy hair and everything else because you're just like, everybody's like, whoa, what's going on with her?
Yeah, hey.
Her chi is flowing.
Exactly. Did you do your hair again? You're like, no, it's
Like,
not.
no, it's my chi. Your chi is showing.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Jen, for
My
talking
pleasure.
to me today. I love you so much.
I love you too.
Mwah.